Alright, so it's time to start my car. I guess first I should talk about what actually happened. I was driving home one night. I did a real hard pull on the highway just for some fun. And nothing too insane. I never drive fast on the highway, nothing. It wasn't a high speed pull or anything like that. And it was fine. And then I drove probably another 10 minutes after, just cruising home late at night. And I pulled over to send a text, shut the car off. When I turned it back on, I felt it crank over slow. I was a bit, a bit sketchy about it, but there's nothing odd. I was just on a hill, so I thought maybe it was just a one-time thing. It wasn't ridiculously slow. And then probably 2 minutes later, I heard a noise like a rod bearing. I was like, oh, so I stopped right away. And I listened. I pulled the car over, just let it idle for a second. And I heard nothing, so I continued on. And I stopped again because I thought I heard it again. And again, I heard nothing. I got out of the car and I was checking all around, and it was completely fine. And then probably 2 minutes later, the noise came back and stayed. The rod bearing knot. And I shut the car off right away and just left it. And I towed it home. Brought it home. I started up one more time just to make sure I wasn't being paranoid. And again, obviously the rod was gone. I suppose at that point the bump bearing was spun, and it's just knocking crazy. So since then I haven't done anything with it. It's been sitting probably for a good 2 months just on my lawn. And I drain the oil just to check it, and there's metal shavings in the oil, of course, the normal thing. So now I just gotta start doing it. I'm gonna start by draining the coolant, take some accessories off, I suppose. I don't think I'm gonna get the engine pulled today. I did my buddy's car a couple weeks ago, and we had the engine pulled in about 2 hours. I don't think I'm gonna get that done today with filming, and I'm just not gonna try and rush it. So I guess we'll start and see what happens. Alright, so let's jack up the car. I usually just jack up from the center, just on the subframe there, and drain some coolant. Alright, so I've already let go of the cap from top of the radiator up there. Just release some pressure. Hopefully it'll drain a little bit easier. I hooked this hose a minute ago. I found it's a perfect size for a little drain cock here, so hopefully it works perfect. If I can get my hand in there. Might be hard with these headers. I have to go from the top actually. There we go. I'll keep that as my coolant drain hose. Alright, so I've got a good bit of coolant drained using the drain cock there. Good bit came out, not all of it for sure. I'm going to take it off the engine here so I can start taking out the radiator and start draining the engine. Hopefully I don't get a mouthful. This hose might also be stuck on, so. This car is so rusty, as you can see. It's a bit of a beater. I'm trying to keep the engine in good shape, so hopefully I can swap it into something later on, The car is kind of a disposable shell. As long as it's fast, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so the radiator is completely drained. You can still hear the engine block draining down below into another pan, but now we gotta work on the top. We gotta take off these hold downs here, and we gotta take off power steering line, unfortunately, and the lines for the top reservoir here. Alright. Just two 12mm bolts on top here that actually hold everything in. actually just come off, just little rubber mounts and pegs basically. Now it's just hoses. It's the top hose that goes into the engine. There's two hoses for a small reservoir. Put those up there for now. You can drain them back into the reservoir. Not bad. So you got to remove this because it's clipped into the radiator and it's kind of right in the way. So we can just spin it over on the reservoir. I already got two of the plugs for the fans. They're already undone down there. Looks like it. Take this one off. Hope it doesn't really loose coming everywhere. Shouldn't, but not bad. Alright, start pulling. I'm pouring fluid. Not bad. I'm thinking about taking the AC out. Maybe, because as you can see, it's not even hooked up. I haven't had the belt on it for years. Because it's not hot here. I like to drive the windows down. It doesn't really bother me. So I might just take it out. I mean, it's just in there wasting space, and I got no intentions of ever recharging it and using it again. So I guess we'll see. It's a decision for later on. Next is the battery. We gotta take this out next because I like taking the accessories off and swinging them over. I just said I was gonna disconnect the AC, but I might and might not. So I usually like to leave the lines connected. I'll just swing it over, lay it there, put it on a rag or something. You know, same thing for the other side. You can see my intake's over there. So I like to swing the power steering pump over. So definitely gonna keep that. It's just a better way to work. All right, so I already had this one disconnected because you know. On the battery drain. Just good practice to keep the negative terminal off when you're working on the car. The positive terminal off here. Alright. Clean that up before I put it back on, for sure. I'm gonna get a deep 10 mil for this. I put a little bit of WD-40 on it for a minute while I was talking to my father. Hopefully kind of loosen it up. And work it back and forth a little bit. It's pretty stubborn. So now one of these I remove often, the other one I don't remove at all. So yeah, it must be this one, eh? Look at that. Yeah. You would never be this rough with a customer car, but alright. This was so nice, everything's easy. 10 mil bolts everywhere. You got some big main cables here. Might as well do these now. Alright. Alright, let's do intake and then intercooler. Intake's pretty easy. I just gotta do my zip tie here. That needs to be improved, although it works pretty well, honestly. This is actually an intake from a 2010 STI. Yeah, so I got this intake real cheap off a fella. I was kind of in a bit of a pinch. I needed a 3-inch intake because I was maxing the math out with my new turbo inlet. So it was a last minute thing. And as you can see here, check that out. It's got a JB Weld MAF sensor. Pretty crazy, eh? It works though. Doesn't seem any leaks. I actually, what I did was I took a piece of round stock plastic, cut it off, and then I drilled the center to the right diameter of the MAF sensor, and then I just kind of JB welded it in there just so it was completely sealed. There's lots of JB weld on it, so there should be no leaks. I mean, it seems perfect. It's been running awesome. Yeah, it actually sealed pretty well because the plastic is drilled to the right diameter for this. So I mean, it's not a whole lot different than what it would be normally if it was just a drilled plastic hole from factory. No, works fine. I think it's funny. So, all right. So intercooler. It's clearly an aftermarket intercooler. I believe it's like an eBay type deal. I got it used off a fella, and he gave it to me real cheap. So it's got a few issues though. It rubs on my turbo high pressure boost outlet here. It's a little bit too thick, so I'm actually gonna have to re-drill the turbo. I believe that's the best option here. I'm gonna have to re-drill the turbo and tap it for a new fitting, and plug the other one. It's probably gonna be, yeah, it's probably the best option to do it that way. It sits up just a little bit too high. It's got a big fitting on it actually. It might be an aftermarket fitting. Yeah, so that's got to be fixed. It doesn't clear my strut tower bar, so it doesn't. This one doesn't sit down on the mount properly. Yeah, little things like that's got to be cleared up on this build. Lose my balance. Hose clamp went down the bottom. That's alright. This is my meth nozzle. It's just people usually plumb in right to the bottom of the intercooler there. And I had some issues with it before. There's a filter that you need to clean regularly, and I do clean that regularly. But one time there's another there's a check valve down here in the bottom, and that actually clogged up itself. There's no filter there. It's just like a tight passageway and a bit of debris. I guess it was like almost like fibers from a cloth wrapped around, and it kind of plugged up my nozzle, and I actually lost another engine that way. So it's a bit of a nuisance because you got to take it apart, and I don't believe it's supposed to be taken apart. There is markings here so you can get a wrench on it, but I don't think it's meant to come apart. It's pretty sealed from the factory. But I found with the AEM kit here, you really do need to do it. You can just seal it back up with a little bit of sealant. There's no big deal. Just something to look out for. Alright, so that's it for today, I guess. It took a good bit of time. Mostly because I'm getting used to this filming thing. It's completely new to me, but we didn't get a whole lot done. We got some accessories taken off, radiator drain as you've seen. And it's a good start though, because I don't want to get too far into it. I want to check the footage and make sure it's coming out alright. But yeah, it's going to go pretty good. No surprises here. I mean, it's one of a few times the engines came out, so yeah. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully it came out alright. We'll see how it goes.